the 49ers got this thing called the BNY Lounge, where it literally sits right behind the 49ers bench on one side and the Bengals bench on the other side. And it's just this big, like, all the food's free, but it's everything. They got sushi, they got shrimp, they got burgers and hot dogs, they got an open bar. So I don't know how much people pay to go to this lounge for season ticket holders or whatever, but it's great. It's a great game day experience. But you can go outside the lounge and stand right behind the bench. You're probably about less than 10 yards, probably about 5-6 yards from the whether the 49ers bench or the Bengals bench. So I never got a ticket. I stood back there and watched the whole game, and I saw Orlando Brown Jr.'s mom start cutting up with her, and her sister was there. I had some friends of mine there, met some 49er fans. That was cool. Everybody was cool. Met this one guy. He had some kind of, he had some terminal, some disease, and I don't want to say the wrong disease. And he told my friend what it was, and I caught it halfway, and he goes, "This is like a bucket list for me." An older gentleman, and it was so cool just to talk to him, and he was so happy. And I was like, man, it goes back to what I said a couple months ago, what football does. Like, his bucket list was just to go to some football games, and he said, I couldn't miss this one. I'd never been to San Francisco/San Jose, and it was cool just to sit next to him and talk to him about football and everything else, and the fact that he might not have a lot of time left. I mean, it just goes back, man. Football is something special, baby. It's something special. Now, before the game, this is what's funny. So there's a guy in the 49ers. I don't know his actual job title or something with player personality. His name's Austin Moss. Cool-ass dude. Great guy, right? So he came to see me last year in San Jose at the Improv. And he sent me the olive branch like, yo, because I'll leave him tickets when I come in town. He goes, you want to go to a Niners game? Let me know. And I told him last year, I said, well, I know we play you guys next year. I'm going to go to that game. And I didn't know the date yet, but he goes, I got you. So here we are. A year later, Austin, man, God just took such good care of me. Like, little things. Got me a parking pass. You ain't got to give me no parking pass. Brother got me a parking pass. And then he got me and my two friends into the game. We got field passes. And then he got us in the FNY lounge, and he was like, you want tickets? I go, no, I'd rather just stay here. So Austin was sticking to moving. He's handling other celebs and people that were coming to the game. And he says, man, I'll be back. He got me paired up with this security guy, this big brother too. And he goes, you're with him. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. Just stay near him, and I'll tell you where to go. I was like, all right. So my friends, I went to the bathroom. So I was standing by myself for like 15 minutes. So I was starting to get a few people asking for pictures and stuff. And then finally, the 49ers was about to come out of the tunnel. And it's weird. Their tunnel is like behind the Bengals bench. And I guess when they built the stadium, I got all this information, inside information. When they built the stadium originally, where the visiting teams are is where the 49ers was going to be. But Harbaugh was the coach at that time. And the way the shade comes in, it hits one side of the stadium and slowly gets to the other side. So one side of the stadium is in the shade most of the game, and it's cool. The other side, it's like 20 degrees hotter. So I guess Harbaugh was like, no. We on the other side. We're going to be cool the whole game. The other team's going to have to deal with this heat. And it got a little toasty, I ain't going to lie. And, the Bay Area, there's like a 40-degree difference from the shade to the sun. So it was a little toasty on the Bengals sideline, which was originally, when the stadium was built, supposed to be the 49ers sideline, which was smart. I get it. So he says, yo, G, come over here and stand. So now I'm not standing next to the stands. I'm standing right behind the Bengals bench. That 6-yard window right there, I'm right there, right behind the Bengals bench. And a few years ago, I was at a Bengals game, and where the friends and family section are, I was standing there, and there's a railing, right? I was on the other side of the railing, and their security guy goes, hey, man, you got to get on the other side of the railing. You can't be on this side. So, oh, my bad. So I got on the other side of the railing. And then Marvin Jones Jr., wide receiver, cool dude, I think he's with the Lions now. He came out with some of his family members, and they was like, yo, G, can we get a pic? And I was like, yeah. So I get on the other side of the railing and take a pic with Marvin Jones Jr. and his family, and that security guy goes, I just told you, not on this side of the railing. You're out of here. And he, grabbed the cop, and they kicked me out of the friends and family section. So I was like, oh, what just happened? I didn't want to go on the other side of the railing. I got to ask for a picture from a player. So Carlos Dunlop and his assistant Tiffany, they call me. They go, where you at? I go, I just got kicked out. And they go, shut up. I go, yeah. And they go, hold on, we're going to get our security to come get you. The same guy that kicked me out was the one that had to let me back in the stadium. This is like 7-8 years ago. And he literally told Carlos Tiffany, he goes, oh, shit. He goes, I just kicked some guy out that might have been your guy. And then I came walking back up, and he had this he had his shoulders like this. And he goes, I didn't know. I was trying to tell you. I was telling him, I'm not a prima donna, dude. And it was that moment do I make a big fuss or no? I was like, no, I'm not going to make a big fuss. I just got kicked out, and I got let back in. That same security guy, he's still with the Bengals. He sees me standing there where I'm not supposed to be standing, and I know this, but the 49ers security guy told me to stand there. He comes, he got this shitty grin. He goes, hey, man. I go, dude, I know. I go, before you say anything, that guy told me to stand here. He goes, all right. He goes, since he told you to stand here, he goes, technically you're not supposed to be here. He goes, but I'm not going to say nothing. He goes, but technically you're not supposed to be here. And I go, dude, I get it. I didn't try to come over here. He moved me over here. Fast forward, we laugh about it. We're talking about the Dunlop situation again. This other 49er security guy comes up and goes, hey, man, you can't be here. And I go, oh, my God, deja vu. He's about to kick me out. So the big brother that told me to stand behind the Bengals bench, he's now talking to somebody else, dealing with coordinating people, right? And I go, no, he told me to stand here. He goes, I don't care who told you to stand here. He goes, you can't be here. And the big brother came back and was like, hey, man, I told him to stand here. Don't tell him to go nowhere. I told him to stand here. And the same dude that was just in my ass, he goes, oh, I ain't know. And his hands up. And I was like, bro, I just told you. So this is what I got to say. I know where I'm at in this entertainment business. I know where I'm at as far as quote unquote celeb status. I'm big in some circles. I'm not in others. Clearly, with some NFL security, I'm anonymous, and some I'm not. And it's funny because I just want everybody to know I'm never gonna go and stand somewhere on my own. I'll just let you know. I'm not gonna be like, don't you know who I am? I'm not going to just go stand behind the Bengals bench or any other team's bench unless someone told me to stand there. I'm not that guy.